we're taking ISO away from API, moving it towards AS.
Right. Are you retaining your API, I presume?
Yes.
And how did you organize all your quality data before?
It was all paper, Excel, PDFs.
So you'd create documents and then you'd print them out into binders, or were they mostly digital in folders?
We mostly had them digital, but we did have some printed out in binders. I'd say probably 30% in binders, 70% digital.
And when you had updates to those, you would just print off new ones or go make sure you retrieve the old ones?
Exactly.
Yeah. Did you sometimes not be able to do that? You'd have two copies of the same thing out there, or you're kind of laughing, Cody. You want to share?
Yeah, I know it happens. I know it.
Because you can only control the one you put in there. If they print something else and put it in their own personal binder or something, you don't know. You know physically the one you put there, but you don't know if they've made additional copies and put it elsewhere.
I kind of laughed because I had a finding like in an audit one time for a first article inspection report where we kept these handwritten first article reports on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
We revved one up, but machinists had already made copies of all their own stuff and they were keeping their own packets in there. They were still using old packets, and we had this new rev on the shop floor, and that ended up being a finding. And it's just like, man, how do you control a lot of that stuff? You know what I mean? It's so hard. Paper makes it so hard. But
when you implemented ProShop, the way Cody tells it is, you personally freed up so much time of your day. I think a lot of it was with just new order reviews or something like that.
Order reviews, even just getting the information out, doing a rev, doing the change and stuff like that. And you figure, make a change, then that one change, I'll have to go to 16, 18 different workstations to retrieve those possible documents. Order review itself didn't take that much time. But let's say I had an order that when I did the order review, I say order review as a whole, the actual physical review, I may find something that was incorrect. So now I had to go track the work order down in the shop.
Mm-hmm.
Where was it at? And sometimes, or even if it may have not even been on a machine yet, it may still have been in a bin that we had, how many we would have?
So
100, 150. So I'd physically have to thumb through 150 work orders, find it, either take that, go print the updated one.
Remember the spot it's in too.
Add it, or just, scratch it out and make a note on it, initial it, say this changed to this, and so on and so forth. So that was a lot of time.
So when you found yourself with so much extra time, and I guess during this period, COVID is happening and oil and gas is not as busy as it used to be, you guys made the decision to try to go for AS9100 and kind of diversify, and you now had some more free time to enable to lead that initiative. Is that?
Yes.
What did that reveal? What did that find? What gaps did you have?
Believe it or not, what I'm finding now that I really, I had some experience in AS9100. I understood the concept, but I never actually physically went through an audit or something of that nature. But now, since I've been through, national gap analysis plus two of the stage 1 and stage 2 audit, there's things in API that are more stringent than ISO.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems that API has a lot more comparison to AS9100 than you would think. A lot of the things that we had implemented for an API requirement fulfill that AS9100 requirement. A lot of the findings that we did have in the gap analysis were very easy fixes. We didn't have to change any processes of what we actually did or how we did it. It was more documentation and rewording the procedure to make sure that the terminology the AS9100 has.
Follow my ask a question on my own. So do you think that going into ProShop, before we even, just the way we're doing things in ProShop, kind of helped outline of just being compliant to AS9100 compared to the way we were doing things before, right? Just the processes that we had to go to use ProShop kind of just made us start to be compliant. You know what I mean?
So then we did the gap in October, and then you did your stage 1. When did you do stage 1 and 2?
November. Stage 1 was in November.
End of November.
Did you have some findings there, some opportunities?
Basically what he did, he came in, and this is what ProShop really worked great, is he was just making sure that we had something to meet that requirement. So I put all the standard, the AS9100 standard in ProShop the way you guys had actually had it. So basically copied almost verbatim the way you guys had it set up in the demo when we built it. Is I linked all the URLs.
RFL. He did all the RFL linking himself.
So did you get our Flying Start package?
He did not, no. So we
Oh,
did
wow.
all the work ourselves.
Yeah.
He
Oh
did
my
all
God.
the RFL linking. He tied everything together to meet our tasks, our procedures.
So like when we went through that first stage one, I mean, it only took us, it was only one day, I think.
Yeah.
And it wasn't really a full day. So we basically went through every, I guess, section of the AS9100 and just hit the link, and it would bring up either a training document or a procedure or a work or a task or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't really dive into it. Then there was a few things that we were short. I think it was 4 or 5 that I had to fix.
They were just
One was when
opportunities.
yeah, and when you
Right.
come back to the stage 2 is when he physically audited and went through all the.
And when was that stage 2?
January 15th, for January
It was
13th,
2 weeks ago.
12th through the 15th.
Yeah.
4 days, 1 off-site, 3 on-site.
And any feedback you got from that auditor?
He loved ProShop. You know, one of the things he asked, you know, how much it costs, but he gets all kind of other customers that he audits, because there's a lot of clients that actually, you know, want to know if there's any other ERP systems that he's seen that's
Right.
actually helpful. The other thing was just how fluid it was. What impressed him the most, I believe, was a training module, where we have all the training linked up to show
Yep.
competency, like based on the org chart with all
Yep.
that stuff. He really liked that.
Auditor loved it, so
Yeah.
All right.
it's made it easy, and just the whole process of managing the quality system now is a lot more efficient and effective.
I find this so user friendly, the
Right.
ProShop. Be able to jump, you know, from screen to screen and go through and edit the documents. Definitely made it easy.
What was nice is this morning I pushed out some new tasks and stuff, and we're just trying to get a whole lot more tasks in the system of the way we do
Yep.
things. And
Yep.
you know, I'm walking through the hall in the office, and I just hear people talking about the new task already after I already pushed them out and stuff like that. So it's so awesome to hear that people are using the system the right way and seeing that, oh, I have a notification about a new task and this and that. And it's just,
Right.
it's awesome to hear now.
Because we had been talking about implementing like Cody and I, and we have been using it, but that was the first audit that we went through using it. So we
Right.
still had the way we were thinking about doing it, plus also using process dev.
Right.
And the auditor said, just do away with the other stuff and just go strictly with the process dev. And it's
Nice.
100% of the requirement.
I'm glad to hear that it's already working and you're liking it and the auditor liked it. That's awesome. I think that's all. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. I'll let you get back to lunch or whatever you're doing next. So,
It's almost over now.
Yeah.
all right. Well, thank you
All right.
guys.
Thank
Thanks,
care.
Paul.
Well, hey, Cody, how's it
Hey, Paul.
going?
Good, man. You?
I'm doing really well, Well,
Good.
thanks for jumping on with me here. So, just to kind of paint the picture, you decided just not that many months ago that you guys wanted to get AS9100 certified.
Yep.
And we did a little pre-video, and now we're doing the post.
Yeah.
So I'd love for you to just kind of share, you know, the sort of the timeline, why you decided to go do that, how it went, and just kind of where you're at today. So we're in early March 2021.
Yep.
And
correct.
yeah, go ahead and share the story a little bit if you would.
Yeah. So we've always been mostly an oil and gas shop. We actually reviewed ProShop for about a year. We were scared to change, but when we finally pulled the trigger in the end of 2019, and then we went live in end of December. I'm sorry, in 19. We completely switched over to ProShop in January. Things were really busy for us. We were good, and then COVID hit, so it kind of destroyed everything, really, you know. And we kept getting slower and slower, and we was just like, it's time for a change, you know. We kind of, it's time to diversify. We really need to look into diversifying, and now that we have ProShop and it's really geared to the aerospace, we're like, it's actually the perfect time to do this, you know. So we thought about that all summer. in September, we decided to pull the trigger and go forward with AS9100. No previous experience. Our quality manager had no experience with AS9100. We got a gap analysis with ProShop in October. That's kind of, he basically told us where we stood at in comparison to getting certified. The beauty about having ProShop is we already met a lot of the stuff we needed to meet, because ProShop had mostly all the AS9100 requirements built into it. So, and we were already ISO certified, so that helped too. But you know, AS9100 has all these additional standards and requirements. We had a stage 1 audit in November. Went ahead and scheduled our stage 2 audit before we even fixed everything, because we knew we were going to get this done, and we knew how fast we could get done because of ProShop. We scheduled our stage 2 audit. That happened in January, and we basically passed. We got our cert. We officially passed in February and got our license for AS9100. So basically, in a 3 to 4 month process, achieved the AS9100 certification, all through ProShop, really.
Well, that's pretty fast.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's not just ProShop. You guys, from besides your decision making to choose ProShop, everything I've seen you guys do after that is just razor focused, like go for it, get it done. And so that's another, you know, being decisive and just moving quickly seems to be a strength at Coastal.
Yeah, that's kind of one of the things we push over here is if we're going to do something, let's go ahead and get it done and put all our efforts into it.
So for those watching, the Flying Start package is sort of a pre-configured QMS template that we insert into the ProShop system that has all the procedures and tasks already written out. But you guys did it from scratch on your own, but the workflows were basically kind of pre-built with the way you use ProShop.
Pretty much, yeah.
So anyway, great job. I hope that new certification, both for AS and for ITAR, helps open doors for you and helps you diversify into other industries.
Yep, absolutely. That's the plan.
All right. Well, we'll be right with there partnering with you. And thanks so much for sharing that, Cody. Appreciate it.
Thank you all.
All right. Take care.